In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how Alfie Solomons commands respect from the people around him. If you've been in tense situations or conflict before, you might have been paralyzed in a state of not knowing how to act in a way that will help you win and appear more dominant in the situation. You don't have the right body language, or you say the wrong things, and it just feels like people end up not respecting you enough. But someone who is the complete opposite of this is Alfie Solomons, a man who shows a high level of emotional intelligence and calculation in social or confrontational situations, and often manages to intimidate and dominate those around him, but at the same time gains the respect of other men. And because of this, he's one of the only characters that can go toe-to-toe with Tommy Shelby and can actually win a confrontation with him. And you all want to appear that way, right? You want people to respect you, you want people to feel your presence, but many of you haven't been given the tools and the advice to behave in this manner. So in this video, I'm going to break down 5 lessons you can learn from Alfie Solomons, ranging from body language to mindset to what you say and how you say it, which will all help you gain an increased amount of respect from others. So make sure you stay for all lessons, as each lesson is just as important as the other. So lesson 1 you can learn from Alfie Solomons is to hold strong eye contact while talking. Similar to Tommy Shelby, in many of the scenes that we see Alfie Solomons in, he has no problem holding eye contact with the person he's talking to, even if it's in a tense situation. Now when you think of someone who's intimidated by another person, one characteristic you'd probably imagine them having is not being able to hold that eye contact while talking. But the thing is, people hear this lesson and don't really apply it right, because they force it too much, and they just end up staring the whole time, which can make them come across weird or creepy. But Alfie Solomons executes eye contact perfectly, because it comes across as authentic and it doesn't seem forced. It just looks like he's comfortable holding it as he pleases. And there's 3 main things that contribute towards this. First is that when you're looking at someone, don't have wide bulging eyes and appear like you're trying to stare through their soul. Well, not in most situations. You see, the glorified eye contact we see from the likes of Tommy Shelby and Alfie Solomons in some scenes, where he literally has those piercing eyes, is when he's literally trying to send threats through his eyes. Most of us are rarely going to be in these situations. We're going to be in the normal social situations, and doing that piercing eye contact either makes you look like you want problems, or it makes you look weird. So what you need to do is have relaxed eyes. Now again, you shouldn't have to force relaxed eyes. You should just be relaxed in the moment mentally, and your eyes will naturally follow. When you see Alfie Solomons holding eye contact, he rarely ever has those big bulgy eyes, but he just appears normal and he seems content in the situation, unless he's trying to intimidate the other person. The second thing he does well is not holding it 100% of the time. It's a rough estimate, but I would say on average he holds it for about 8 to 15 seconds, and then he breaks it for about 2 to 3 seconds and then holds it again. This makes it appear a lot more natural while still retaining your assertiveness in the situation. And the third thing he does is that when he breaks the eye contact, he looks sideways instead of down. Psychologically, looking down makes you appear more intimidated and that the other person's eye contact is getting to you, but looking sideways for just a couple seconds makes it look like more of a natural break, and it appears as though you're just thinking about whatever it is you're talking about. Only look down if you need to pick something up that's in a lower position, but even then, if you can pick it up without breaking the eye contact, then that's even better. At first, it's going to feel forced, but follow these steps to make your eye contact feel more natural over time, and that will help increase the respect that other people have for you. Lesson 2 we can learn from Alfie Solomons is to be truthful even if it's against your best interests. The scene where this is most prominent is when Alfie admits about the truce that broke up.
Right, don't worry about that truth, kid, right? Because it fell apart.
He's literally admitting to something that puts his life in more danger, as there's no more strings attached between Tommy, and Tommy therefore has the green light to kill him. Alfie also goes a step further and states,
I do not want him to spare me because of some fucking peace pact. I want him to acknowledge that his anger is unfucking justified.
Showing that he puts teaching Tommy a valuable lesson over his survival in this situation, because to him, his morals are more important to him being the man he is, and he's someone that finds it important to be honourable.
You pulled that trigger for a fucking honourable reason. Like an honourable man, not like some fucking civilian that does not understand the wicked way of our world, mate.
So how can this lesson be applied to modern contexts? Well, firstly, it involves being honest, even if it puts you at disadvantage or makes you appear less desirable. Because although in the moment it might seem as if it's making things worse for you, in the long run, the real men will respect you for your honesty. Let's say you've never had any intimate experiences with a girl before, and everyone in a group is talking about the experiences they've had with girls. In that situation, it would be very easy to make up a scenario and lie about what you've done, and you could be pretending to relate to them. Also, you could fit in and appear more accomplished. But if you were flat out honest about it, that makes you a much more respectable person. The immature ones might laugh at you or ridicule you, but mature men will respect your honesty and trust you a lot more in the future. And this respect won't just be from others, but to yourself. Because the more you lie, the less self-respect you have, which could contribute to a negative self-image. So always be truthful in situations and just stick to your morals, even if it goes against your best interests, and people will respect you a lot more. The third lesson we can learn from Alfie Solomons is to call people out on their BS. To put this in more literal terms, it's when you tell someone that you can see through their lies. Alfie does this in the scene in the Russian safe, where he's picking jewels to take from the safe as repayment with Tommy, but he calls out the Russian for giving him fake jewels.
Tommy, see this, right? It's got paste.
You can see everyone's surprised face when Alfie calls him out, because you have to have some balls to get in another man's face in that confrontational manner when calling them out. Most people would do it in a more timid sense, or they would just let the other person get away with it. But even through the screen, I feel like viewers respect Alfie more because he isn't afraid to call people out on their BS. He does the same when he and Tommy had the confrontation and Tommy told him that he crossed the line.
You crossed the line, Alfie.
You fucking what?
You crossed the line.
The line?
I want him to acknowledge that he who fights by the sword, he fucking dies by it, Tommy.
But they took your boy, did they? Huh? You got your boy?
And what fucking line am I supposed to have crossed?
How many fathers, right? How many sons, yeah? Have you cut, killed, murdered, fucking butchered, innocent and guilty, to send them straight to fucking hell, ain't you? Just like me! You, judging me, stand there and talk to me about crossing some fucking line?
He's calling out Tommy's lack of self-awareness to realize that just because in this situation Tommy is suffering as his son was kidnapped, Tommy has killed so many other people's sons, so for Tommy to talk about crossing a line is quite naive of him, and Alfie had to make sure he called him out on it. And it also looks as though Tommy actually took the lesson and carried it with him, which would have made him respect and appreciate Alfie for telling him. So even more so when it's someone you care about, call them out on stuff to help them become better and more honest individuals. And if the message gets across correctly, then they'll actually be more thankful and appreciating towards you in the long run. So when necessary, ensure that you call people out. Lesson 4 we can learn from Alfie Solomons is to use humor to appear calm. Alfie manages to master being both funny and intimidating throughout the show, constantly making jokes or humorous comments about when situations are tense. The effect this gives off is that he is never intimidated by the pressure someone is trying to put on him. Someone who is intimidated by someone else would show signs such as a higher pitched voice, being respectful so that the other person doesn't harm them, being apologetic, basically doing things to de-escalate the situation. One thing someone who's intimidated doesn't do is try to be funny. However, Alfie refuses to cower in front of his more powerful rivals, and to give a sign that he isn't fearful, he makes jokes and funny remarks.
You're all gypsies, right? So would you live in a fucking tent or a caravan? Tired, come in here, he woke me up. I remember looking around and thinking, you know, if this is hell, it looks a lot like Margate. I always thought that you'd have a great big fucking gold ring in your nose.
When the situation is tense, this requires some calmness and awareness to pick something in the situation or the environment and make a quick-witted joke or funny remark about it. Calmness is the key, however, as if you aren't already calm in these tense moments, then it will go wrong. The joke might be bad and it can make you look more intimidated. So at first, only try it in normal social groups before trying to do it in the more tense situations. And lesson 5 we can learn from Alfie Solomons is to simply command respect. Alfie is someone who rates himself highly enough to deserve respect from others. In this scene we see that he is telling the Russian to stop interrupting him while he's offering his services.
Oh, but that was a gift of Tsar Nikolai.
I ain't asking you though, am I, right? I ain't asking you. Right, I come here to do business for my professional services. If you keep interrupting me, I won't be able to focus to do my job, you understand?
Now, if I put a lot of you guys in that situation, you might act more timid and allow the guy to keep interrupting you without raising concern. However, you need to have enough respect for yourself that you force people to respect you when you're talking. For example, you could be delivering a presentation and someone talks. Simply pausing and asking them to stop talking while you're presenting will signify to the other people that you command respect with your time and attention. Or while you're talking with one person and another person tries to talk to you, simply asking them to let you finish will ensure that people don't think it's fine to disrespect you. But once you correct someone once, they respect you and don't do it again. So don't be fearful to command respect. And that is going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed these lessons, then please give the video a like and subscribe so you can see other characters being analyzed. And please do drop a comment letting me know what character you would like to see in another video. I've been Jay Wisdom, and until next time.